In today's video, I'm going to share with you wreath making tips and ideas on how to create a gorgeous fall wreath DIY. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video, I'm going to share with you wreath making ideas and how to create the perfect wreath for your front door. I'm super excited to bring you a brand new season of home decorating ideas and DIYs so you can be inspired to decorate for fall this year. I know it's just summer and I know we just got off of our Christmas in July series, but it is time to pivot into fall. And in this video, I'm going to share with you tips, ideas, and how to create a gorgeous wreath for your front door this fall season. So if you are interested in learning wreath making tips and ideas on how to make a wreath, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you are already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss what's coming next. And by the way, did I say, have you given this video a thumbs up? Because it is free and it really helps the channel. All right, you guys, well, let's get started with these wreath making tips and ideas on how to create a gorgeous wreath for your front door. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for this fall DIY, I'm going to share with you some wreath making ideas on how you can create a gorgeous fall wreath for your front door this fall season. I'm gonna give you tips and ideas and tricks on how you can create the most gorgeous wreath with a little plaque that says, "'Tis the season to be thankful," with a cute little track, and it is going to be absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait for you guys to see the end result. So for this wreath, what we're going to need is the little plaque. We're going to need some fall foliage, and I'm gonna be grabbing some as I go because I am not sure what kind until I get going. That is just my creative mind, but if you already have some fall foliages for your wreath, go ahead and use them. I'm gonna use two of the beautiful bows that I share with you how to make. There's a full tutorial for this in the description box below, and for this particular wreath, I'm going to need two of these beautiful bows, and that's just to save us some time. I'm also going to need some of the same ribbon. I'm gonna use some of this 1.5 inch green, 0.75 inch glitter lame, and then this beautiful plaid. And look how gorgeous it's going to be with this beautiful ribbon that is like a mesh ribbon. And then also I'm gonna use some deco material to fill in a wreath form that you can find at any local craft store. What I like about this one is because it's like a burlap material, but it has some orange lines in it. It's so beautiful. I'm also going to need, of course, a wreath form that needs to be flat because it is flatter than a pancake. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna organize this. I'm gonna fluff my wreath, and I'll be right back with you to give you step number one. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so now that our wreath form is all fluffed out and my area is a little bit more clean, what I do want to mention is that what you want to do is you want to bring some of these bristles all the way to the middle because we want them to serve as a place for our little plaque to glue to. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pull, especially right here in the middle, so our plaque has something to sit out like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my form back a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my deco material and I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it on the floor. Right, not all the way on the floor. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start doing my loops or my poofs. And so what you wanna do is you wanna grab your deco material like this, and then you fold it in half so you can have a finished part of your material. And you want to grab two of those bristles and twist really, really tight. And what you want to do is you want to go on a clock motion, doing about, I want to say about 10-inch loops like this. And what this is going to do is it's going to fill in your wreath, and it's going to give it so much more girth. And I did a wreath, the fall wreath, the first fall wreath that we did for this season. I'm going to link it down below so you guys can see what it was. It was so beautiful, and I'm so happy to report that it sold on my Etsy shop the very same day, 5 minutes later after I posted the video. I don't even know who bought it, but somebody bought it, and I'm so glad that it's hanging in somebody else's door. And so, you know, this also will be on my Etsy shop once it's done. You can visit my Etsy shop There's a link down in the description box below if you guys are looking for a full wreath, if you don't want to make your own. But if you want to make your own, I just want to give you all the steps so you can create a beautiful wreath, a DIY for your front door this fall season. Now, keep in mind that sometimes it is hard to find the same materials, and what I'm giving you basically is the idea, and then you guys can run with the idea and make it your own, so that way you too can have a beautiful wreath inspired by Ramon at home. All right, so now I'm going to get more of this mesh material, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another swirl around the outside the perimeter, and I'll be right back with you to show you what it looks like. All right, everyone, so I am done with the second row of mesh material, and at this point what I recommend is that you stick your hand in every single poof, and then you go like this. You basically just spread them out because you want it to be as fluffy and as delicious as possible. And in order to do that, well, we have to make sure that all of those poofs really do stand out. And look how much bigger the wreath already looks just by adding this deck material. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my top and then my bottom to add our plaque, which is going to be our step number 2, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna add this plaque right here. So once that I selected where I want it, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my wreath down here, and I'm gonna kinda press down really hard because I wanna see where is it that I want to add glue. And so I have my hot glue gun right here warming up, and let me tell you, this foil idea, I don't remember who mentioned it to me, but it's such a great idea because your glue falls into it. There is a little dish under it, and then you don't have to worry about your dish getting all the glue. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my plaque and I'm gonna add sufficient glue. So I'm gonna be very generous on all the corners. So be very generous like this. And what you want to do also is like smear the glue with your glue gun. And be careful, don't burn yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my wreath and I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to press down my plaque right here. I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit while I press down, and I'll be right back with you to give you step number 3 on how to create a gorgeous, fantastic, fabulous fall wreath for your door. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so now that our decor material is put into place, which is step number 1, step number 2 was to add our plaque, and she's not going anywhere. She's very secure right there. So then the next step is going to be to attach our bows. And for that, as I mentioned to you before, there is a tutorial on how to make these beautiful bows with 4 types of ribbons. And I'm gonna link it down below so you guys can go check it out if you wanna know how to make these really fluffy and delicious looking bows. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a pipe cleaner, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go through my form and I'm gonna pull this guy right here. Look at that, how easy was that? And then you grab those pipe cleaners and you squish really tight, as tight as you can, and that way it's going to attach your bow right here. And just make sure that you grab one of those bristles in the back, and then you swirl the rest of that pipe cleaner into the bristle, because that's really going to hold your bow into place. Look how absolutely cute that is, you guys. So I'll show you one more time. This is something that you can put the pipe cleaner before you secure shut your bow. I'm gonna be honest with you, I forgot. So now that's why I'm gonna have to put this pipe cleaner through right here. But you know what, there's no problem, because we can always just go back and readjust our bows, or put our pipe cleaners, or fluff our bows. There is no really a set rule for when you're making a bow, right? All right, so now that I have my pipe cleaner right here, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do the other corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this right here. So I wanna do opposite. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and for that, I'm gonna come all the way down here, and I'm gonna take my wreath off the form right here. Don't be afraid. I'm giving you permission to just take your wreaths off the form, to play with your wreath, to fluff it, to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to get it right, especially if you are doing it to sell for a customer, if you're doing it to give away to a family member. Well, you don't want your work to fall apart. So that's why I'm giving you permission to go in there and just play with them as much as you have to. And also be sure that that bow is really tight. And like I said before, grab the rest of this pipe cleaner and then just swirl it around one of your bristles to make it disappear. And voila, this is what our wreath looks like so far. Look how cute that is. And then we just fluff our bows. And you know I like to do that almost towards the end because we're gonna continue to play with them. We're gonna fluff those towards the end. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to do a treatment of ribbon. And for that, I have this mesh ribbon right here. And what I'm going to do is, I love this ribbon because it's one of those ribbons that if you pull it and look at that, you make it look wider. But if you pull it back like this, it kind of goes back to the normal size. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this guy right here. I'm gonna give it a fresh cut on an angle like that. And then I'm going to start right here on the top. Let's see. I'm gonna start right here on the top and I'm gonna come this way. So I'm gonna make sure that there is a loop right here and I'm gonna add another loop, kind of like what we were doing with the ribbons, but in this case it's going to be this beautiful mesh ribbon, and it's just gonna continue to create these loops like our mesh ribbon. Okay, so I'm gonna grab another loop right here and I'm going to make sure that I go kind of in. You want to make sure that these bows look like they're kind of growing from the wreath form. That's what makes them look more beautiful. And then I'm going to stop right here because I run into the ribbon, into the bow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat it on this side, and for that I'm going to show you how I do it on the side. So I'm going to grab my mesh ribbon and I'm going to go in here, make sure that it kind of pulls. I'm going to go right here. And then I'm gonna remember to go all the way in and then see how that kind of becomes part of the bow. And what the important step right here is to make this loop really big so it really shows. And look how that copper of the stripe on that mesh material really ties in with the copper of the ribbon right here, and it catches the light, and when it's in the sun, when it's in your door, it's going to be just absolutely delicious looking because all of that glitter is going to really glisten and it's just gonna look absolutely beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna do two right here, and look, you can always make those loops bigger. And for this particular one, since the bow is on this side, I feel like we could do yet another one. So I'm gonna grab my ribbon and I'm gonna do a loop right here. And I'm gonna go all the way down. And I'm gonna find some bristles, and that it's getting challenging to find, but there you go. Find a bristle right here and to attach like this. And then I'm gonna cut my ribbon like that. Look how pretty this is, you guys. This really pulls in all of the colors on the ribbons and on the materials, and it looks just so absolutely beautiful. But that's not it. You know that here at Ramon at Home, we like to do it extra. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna freeze some of this green ribbon. It's almost like a burlap material. And then also this guy right here. And here's a tip. I use this corsage pins to kind of put my ribbon back so it doesn't unravel. And then I just put them right here on the side. So for this right here, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do the same, but I'm gonna let this drop on the floor. And then I'm gonna put the plaid one on top. And I'm gonna give this a cut on an angle real quick. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a loop right here. So basically coming from the same direction. This is gonna be our tails. Look how cute. You know what? I feel like we can dovetail those two. Sometimes the smaller ribbon looks prettier dovetail because it's a smaller ribbon, but sometimes it does prettier on an angle. But I feel like this 1.5 really is big enough to dovetail like this. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to loop right here, and we're going to do a bigger loop like that, and then we're going to separate those. And look at that. It just ties in with a bow, and then we're going to go in, and we're going to do the same thing right here. And I'm going to grab some other bristle over here, and I'm going to attach, and then we're going to separate them like this. Look how pretty. See how it just fills in? And for the bottom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut But you know what? I do want to dovetail them because I don't want to forget. So I'm gonna go in there and dovetail these ribbons. And it's just gonna give us all these extra tails. Look how pretty. And so now I'm gonna repeat the same on this side right here. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my two ribbons. I'm going to pinch right here. And I'm gonna come in here from the same area that I went in with the mesh ribbon. And I'm going to go like this. And I'm gonna make sure that I dovetail those right away. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this full series so far. We did a fantastic Christmas in July series. I hope you had time to tune it in, but it was time to come back to fall because we have so many ideas coming your way before we go back to the holiday season. And this was my first year doing Christmas in July, and I literally had so much fun doing Christmas in July because if you guys know me, you know that I love Christmas more than anything in the world. As much as so many of you that you really do enjoy the DIYs and the crafting and all the decorating. So I cannot wait to come back in the holiday season for more, but now it's time to decorate our homes for the holidays. And so that's what we're doing right now, starting at the door, because I always tell you that you only get one chance to make a statement, and that is off the front door. And so I just wanted to come up with ideas and with tips in case that you do this for a living, or if you just like to do it at home. It's good to have some new tips and ideas so that way you can, well, create something beautiful in your space. All right, so I'm gonna grab this bristle right here. I'm gonna twist like this. And then I'm gonna separate. And I'm gonna cut my ribbons right here. I'm gonna dovetail them both at the same time. And look how pretty this is looking, you guys, just with ribbons. By the time we're done fluffing all of these ribbons, it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. But now I'm gonna gather some florals, some pumpkins, and some foliages, and I'll be right back with you to show you step number 4. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so our last step is going to be our foliages and florals. And for that, I have selected this beautiful sunflower I just absolutely adore. I'm gonna use 4 of these picks that have pretty much everything in them, the pots and the pins and everything, and a little cattail that I absolutely love. So I'm gonna use 4 of those. I'm gonna use 2 stems of fall foliage to fill in, and then I'm also gonna use some of these mini sunflower just for flyaways. So I'm gonna start by, adding all of this over here to this side. And then of course I'm gonna have my hot glue gun that I'm going to move to this side so that I can work. The first thing I'm going to do is add these little picks that have everything in them, like I said, the pots and the pans, like we say in Mexico. So what I'm going to is actually I'm gonna cut a little shorter because I feel like there's too long. So I'm gonna cut this stem in half, and then I'm gonna be very generous with my glue, and I'm gonna smear that glue into my pick. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna find a place where I want them. So I have 4. I have to select where they go. So I'm gonna start right here on the top, and I'm going to add the first one right here, making sure that I go all the way down like this. So it kind of starts going on that clock motion. I'm gonna grab the second one. What is important with these particular picks is that you fluff them out. Look, if you open them and if you fluff these stems, like they really do add a lot of girth to your wreath. So you wanna make sure that you play with them, because when they come in the box, remember, they come flat like a pancake, and we wanna make sure that we play with those. And look, just 2 of them is really filling in. And remember, we're going all on the same direction. I'm gonna add the third one. These are so pretty, you guys. Has a pine cone, some berries, some grass, and a little cattail, which when I was a florist, used to love working with cattails. I just think they're such a unique flower. I don't know if it's a flower or a weed, but it's definitely beautiful. So I'm gonna add this guy right here coming down, making sure that I go like that. It doesn't really matter if it goes into your picture because I really just add so much more character to your wreath. All right, so I'm gonna cut this guy also a little bit short and just play with the heads, especially the ones like the cattail and the grass, to give it a little bit more character. So I'm gonna put a lot of glue right here, and I'm going to go right in here, opening my loop like that. And I'm gonna add this guy right here, making sure that it really goes into, there you go. That'll make it stay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some fall foliage to fill in the rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this stem. It has 1, 2, I'm gonna make, let's see, 3. I'm gonna make 4 out of 1 stem. As you guys can see, I just cut that stem. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put some glue into my stem. And I wanted to leave them a little bit longer like this to kind of start filling in the gaps, like that. And then I'm gonna use another one. Thumbs up, you guys, if you're enjoying these tutorials for fall. And if you wanna see more, be sure to leave the hashtag fall so that we can come up with brand new ideas to inspire you to create something beautiful in your home. And if you are new to the channel, first of all, welcome. And I really hope that you consider subscribing for more wreath making ideas, DIY ideas, and everything that you need to know for your seasonal decorating. All right, so I'm gonna add yet another one. Let's see, I feel like it needs to go behind this bow to kind of lift it up. Like that, look at that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut my sunflowers. I'm gonna cut them all long, but I know I'm gonna go in and cut them short because I want them to be shorter. Look how beautiful these are. So I'm gonna cut right here and I'm gonna add some of that glue, being generous and smearing it on the stem. It is important that you smear on the stem because that's what's gonna really make it look or feel tacky into the wreath. So I'm gonna add the first one there. These foliages right here, don't pitch them. Go ahead and put them on the wreath because that's gonna give it even more character. So I'm gonna add one right here on the bottom. So remember what happens, or it goes up, must come down. So I'm gonna add this guy right here. See how they're catty corner and they're framing our little plaque. I'm gonna cut another one short, like this. And then I'm going to smear a lot of glue on it. And I'm gonna put this guy right about here. Look how pretty. And I feel like we need one right here. So I'm gonna cut this one even shorter because I really want it to go in. And I'm gonna add this guy right around here. Sometimes it has to go through the mesh, so you have to kind of push him in. Look at that. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have one more, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. And then I'm gonna add all of these foliages as well. We're not pitching anything. All right, we already paid for it, so might as well stick it in there and get your money's worth. All right, so I'm gonna add one maybe over here behind this bow. I'm gonna open right here and I'm gonna go in right there. So pretty. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add all of these foliages because remember, every flower, like if you add a sunflower, you have to add sunflower foliage. If you add a hydrangea, it's better if you add hydrangea foliage. And just make sure that it goes in there. And look, that's just gonna add a little bit of that green, the same green that comes with the ribbon and everything else. And so just go ahead and open any spots and look, just add them. No need to pitch them. You can just randomly place them. And also I love the contrast of the green and the fall foliage. I just feel like it adds so pretty, such a much interest. This is looking really good. All right, so I'm gonna add one more up here. Like that. Oh, and I just burned myself. All right, so now we have these cute little flyaways. These are mini sunflower bushes. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut them all at once. You guys know that I like to cut all of my smaller bushes all at once like this. I'm gonna do 2 of them so far. We'll recalculate. Let's see. And this is what this is gonna do. This is gonna give us some more play and air when the door opens and closes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this guy right about here, like that. See, they have a dance, they have like a movement, and I always like to give it a curvature like this so it catches on, and then whatever sticks out is what's going to make it dance. All right, so I'm gonna add this guy right around here. Look how cute that is. And what we're doing is we're surrounding our plaque. Now I'm gonna face it to me because sometimes I'm gonna explain something. Sometimes when you're working, this is really, really pretty. When you're working on something, we tend to forget the other side. Like we tend to work on the side that is closest to us, and then we forget about this other side. And so we have to make sure that we have all of the same materials all throughout so it looks cohesive. And then your customers or your clients or you're gonna love it. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave me the questions down below in the comment section below. I will spend a few hours answering your questions, and I just love answering, especially when you have questions about how do I sell or how do I do this. You know, the design part is the fun part. Ooh, I just burned myself. The design part is the fun part, but sometimes the business part is what really holds us back. So be sure to leave me a comment down below and I'll be more than glad to answer. I'm gonna pull my boat back and I'm gonna stick this guy right there to make sure that it goes through. That one didn't go through, so it's okay, no shame in the game. Just pull it back out, armor glue, and then make sure that you put all of your ribbons. There you go, now it'll stick. This is so pretty. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna add a few more over on this side. I feel like I'm forgetting about this side. So I'm gonna add a few more of these flyaways. And you know what? I just bought this beautiful grass at Hobby Lobby, so I'm gonna go get it and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, everyone, I am back, and this is the grass I was telling you about. I absolutely love this grass for a flyaway. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut all of it at once because we're gonna be cutting them short. So there's all of them. And see how tall they are? They are so pretty, and these are so perfect. Look at that for the flyaway. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one at a time because it's going to add so much texture. I love this type of stuff because of the texture that adds. Look at this. The color, it's different, and it just adds that berry feel to it, which I love. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that one of my favorite items to decorate for fall is bittersweet, because when I grew up in Kansas, when I go around and it was on the fences and it was just so beautiful. Look at that, how pretty is that? So we're gonna add some of this, and this kind of reminds me of the bittersweet. And so basically you just wanna go all the way around, and you wanna do a curvature right there and add some glue to it. And then we're going to find a place right here to add some of this berry. Like I say, you can find this particular one at Hobby Lobby. It is so pretty, and it's actually very affordable. I don't remember really how much it was, but I know this is one of the ones that I share with you on my shopping haul from Hobby Lobby for fall, and I just love using it every year to decorate clients' houses, to do my wreaths for my Etsy shop. Look how pretty, it just adds that other texture that really, I feel like it was needing. All right, you guys, well, I'm gonna finish adding this. I'm gonna put this in the door, and I'll be right back with you to share with you what it looks like, so keep watching. All right, everyone, so I just wanna show you real quick the finished product, close-up of this beautiful fall wreath DIY. And I really hope that you have learned some tips and tricks and ideas on wreath making for your fall wreath this year. Remember, this wreath is going to be available on my Etsy shop. If you do not want to make your own, you can grab this particular one. There's only one, it's a one of a kind. But I just wanted to share with you some of the materials, starting with a beautiful bow. Look how absolutely gorgeous the bow mixture of the ribbons is, all of the sunflowers, the little beautiful truck on the wreath, and all of the fall foliage. It is so beautiful with the material, the ribbons, and the mesh material. It just looks absolutely stunning. I really hope that this was helpful to you and that you learned a few tricks, like I said, on how to create a gorgeous fall wreath for your fall season 2023.